Yeah, what did you think about the fight on its way to the eye poke? What did you take from those 4 minutes?
Good. Looked like we were in for a few rounds, and it was going to be a good fight.
It would seem obvious that a rematch is right on the cards. Would you like to just rebook these guys as soon as Tom is able to get back in there?
Yeah. Total pain in the ass, but yes.
Yeah. Have you got any medical update on Tom, or is it still too soon?
He's on his way to the hospital. I said earlier, because of the John Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. But I feel like, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up, and, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Dana White silences the haters with explosive Tom Aspinall revelation. After wild speculation sent shockwaves through the UFC world claiming the heavyweight champion was finished and would never fight again, the UFC boss just dropped a jaw-dropping update that changes everything. The rumors of career-threatening eye damage.
I was devastated.
Right?
When your main event, and it's heating up, and it looks like it's going to be a really good fight, and then it ends with an eye poke, and that's how the fight ends. It's brutal. He's at home, he's recovering, and as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch.
I was going to say, how long before he can fight again, and can we assume that you're going to run that back and book a rematch?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we haven't heard that there's anything. He doesn't have detached retina. There's no damage to the eye, so he should heal up soon, and we'll figure out when we can make the fight again.
Completely false. White confirms Aspinall has no serious injury and is already gearing up for an explosive rematch that fans are desperate to see. This is the comeback story no one saw coming. We've got some major news about Tom Aspinall's condition after that devastating eye poke at UFC 321. Dana White just dropped an exclusive update that's going to shock a lot of people. Let's get right into it.
This is not boxing.
UFC.
Hey man.
What is UFC? It's martial arts. Right?
Yeah, in a cage.
Include like this?
No, that's illegal.
That's illegal, right?
Yes.
You're not supposed to do that.
So let's rewind to what happened at UFC 321 last month. The undisputed UFC heavyweight title was on the line between defending champion Tom Aspinall and #1 contender Ciryl Gane. This was the fight everyone wanted to see. Aspinall and Gane were trading punches in round 1, and honestly, it was heating up to be an absolute banger. But then disaster struck. Gane accidentally poked a bloody Aspinall in both of his eyes, rendering him completely unable to continue. The title fight was declared a no contest with no winner.
There should be serious punishment for eye pokes in the UFC. And if it's egregious, you should be DQ'd. And so Ciryl Gane, you fucking forked his eye with your hand fully open. And then when you landed his eye, you like hooked it. Like, what did you think was going to happen, bro? I'm gutted for these athletes. You go through a whole fucking camp just to have that happen. And then for the fans to just cancel because some dumb shit.
Now, here's where the controversy comes in. Under the official MMA rulebook, since the eye poke was ruled unintentional, the bout was declared a no contest. But UFC legend Alistair Overeem told TalkSport that he believes Gane should have been disqualified. Overeem said, and I quote, "I have no bias, but if you're not able to continue to fight because of a foul, it's actually a disqualification. It shouldn't be a no contest, and it was also really a severe injury. We could see the finger go in halfway."
Because if you look at the Aspinall Gane fight, I have no bias, but if you're not able to continue to fight because of a fall, it's actually disqualification. Shouldn't be a no contest. And it was also really a severe injury, right? We could see the finger go in like halfway. So yeah, no, I'm very fortunate I never had to deal with that. Looked very painful.
That's a brutal assessment from the Reem himself. And honestly, when you watch the replay, you can see just how bad that eye poke was. Aspinall was sent straight to the hospital in Abu Dhabi, and days later, his father Andy issued a worrying update saying his son still can't see out of one eye. This led to massive speculation online. Were Aspinall's fighting days over? Would he ever be the same? The rumors started flying.
Alistair, can I start by talking about your thoughts on the recent UFC heavyweight title fight between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane?
Yes, all right. My thoughts about the Gane and Aspinall heavyweight bout. Unfortunate the way that it had to end the way it did. I think a rematch is warranted. Since of course the eye poke is not it's accidental. Yeah. What else?
What did you think of there was quite a lot of controversy afterwards. People questioning Tom Aspinall, whether he should have continued. What was your thoughts on it? I'm sure you've had some difficult moments in fights and had to persevere through them. But when it comes to eye pokes, what did you think about that?
I think we can all see on the pictures that the eye poke was very deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever had an eye poke, but it can be very painful. And especially if it's going to go in that deep, there's going to be damage. And even if there would not be permanent damage, even if it would be a bruise, it's very painful. Because behind your eye is about this thick, your brain is behind that. And it hurts. I think looking at Aspinall's face, you could see he was in pain. Now, I'll tell you this: if you're in a fight, adrenaline levels spike, and you're not supposed to feel pain. So if you're in a fight and you feel pain, after the fight, when those adrenaline levels drop, you're going to be in excruciating pain. So I think Aspinall made the right call to decide not to fight, and yeah, I think we can all be happy that he doesn't have permanent eye damage.
But now, weeks removed from that anticlimactic ending, UFC boss Dana White has finally given us the update we've all been waiting for. And let me tell you, it's much better news than anyone expected. White appeared on the Jim Rome show on Thursday night, and when asked about the UFC 321 main event, here's what he said. Devastating. I was devastated. When you're in the main event and it's heating up, and it looks like it's going to be a really good fight, and then it ends with an eye poke, and that's how the fight ends. It's brutal.
I was devastated.
Right?
When you're in main event and it's heating up and it looks like it's going to be a really good fight, and then it ends with an eye poke, and that's how the fight ends. It's brutal. He's at home, he's recovering. And as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch.
I was going to say, how long before he can fight again? And can we assume that you're going to run that back and book a rematch?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we haven't heard that there's anything. He doesn't have detached retina. There's no damage to the eye. So he should heal up soon, and we'll figure out when we can make the fight again.
You can hear the frustration in Dana's voice, right? This was supposed to be the heavyweight fight of the year, and it ended before it even really got started. But here comes the most important part. Dana gave us a major health update on Aspinall. Listen to this. He's at home, he's recovering, and as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch. I mean, as far as I know, we haven't heard that there's anything. He doesn't have a detached retina. There's no damage to the eye, so he should heal up soon, and we'll figure out when we can fight again.
He doesn't have detached retina. There's no damage to the eye. He should heal up soon, and we'll figure out when we can make the fight again. He's at home, he's recovering, and as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch.
Let me repeat that for the people in the back. No detached retina, no damage to the eye. Aspinall is going to be just fine. This is huge news, fight fans. After all the worry and speculation, after his father said he couldn't see out of one eye, Dana White is confirming that Tom Aspinall has no serious long-term eye damage. He's currently recovering at home in England, and according to Dana, he should heal up soon.
Look at it, looks like you're doing that.
It's good that he stopped the fight.
Yeah. Of course. You should stop the fight until you are good again and until you cleared from ophthalmology department from our side. After, not for this visit, after the second visit, after mutual thing coming back to normal, the vision, I think, okay? But we didn't find anything dangerous.
Okay.
So to all those rumors saying Aspinall's career was over, Dana White just shut that down completely. Now, let's talk about what comes next. Dana made it crystal clear. The rematch is happening. He said, as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This fight is getting rebooked.
Got a twitchy eye today. My eye just keeps twitching.
You know,
all
my
day.
eye's been twitching a lot the last few days.
What does that mean?
I don't know, it could be very spiritual. I'm not sure.
Why do you keep talking about spiritual stuff?
Because you're a spiritual guy,
I
Tom.
don't think I am, but my eye's twitching.
So when could we see Aspinall versus Gane 2? Well, according to reports, this rematch will likely go down in the first half of 2026. The UFC has yet to roll out their complete schedule for next year, but we know their event at the White House is scheduled for June. Here's where it gets interesting. According to Nolan King, the UFC has requested an event permit for January 24th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which will likely be UFC 324. This would be the first major event under the UFC's new $7 billion deal with Paramount in the USA. And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room, Jon Jones. On Thursday, Jones confessed to reneging on a verbal agreement to fight Aspinall. He told No Scripts podcast, "I'm giving Dana his space. We had a verbal agreement that didn't go over well. Nothing was finalized. The way things went down, I was wrong. I wish that I could see him face to face and apologize to him."
Talking to Dana, how's he feeling?
I'm giving Dana his space. You know, Dana has changed my life. He's changed my children's lives.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful to him. We had a verbal agreement that didn't go over well. Nothing was finalized, but I was wrong. I wish that I could see him face to face and just apologize to him so that we can let bygones be bygones and get back to making some major money for the sport and really entertaining these fans.
He's a businessman, and there's no doubt that you are his favorite fighter of all time. There's the memes of it. He loves you.
When he's feeling me, I think I'm one of his favorite fighters. When he's not feeling me, I'm probably the reason why he has a bald head.
But Jones retired with the desire to fight light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira at the White House card instead. Both fighters are publicly campaigning for a non-title heavyweight fight, so it's extremely unlikely Jones would agree to fight Aspinall now. Dana White has publicly stated there's a 1,000,000,000 chance Jones competes at the White House after imploding the Aspinall negotiations. So yeah, we can pretty much forget about that super fight happening.
Just wondered, at this point, is there anything in the next few months or several months that Jon could do where you could say, okay, I actually trust him to put him on that card?
Let me ask you, what do you think Jon would do in the next couple of months that would make me trust putting him on the White House card?
Well, I would not trust him, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall on that card down the road.
So I already said that I don't trust him, and you're asking me what could he do for me to trust him in the next 3 months? You don't trust him.
Well, yes, but you talk to him. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't talk to him either. I haven't talked to him at all.
Well, there's a greater chance you'll talk to him than I'll talk to him.
Yeah. I would not bet on, if I had to make odds, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that I put Jon Jones on the White House card.
All right, I think that ends the questions on it.
Yeah.
Firstly, what do you think about that?
Oh, my friend and training partner has just got to the UFC. So, he's potentially 2 or 3 wins away from a title shot. So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight. But now I've done it, I would be I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
You know what I think about that before you even ask me. I hate that, many friends, relatives, name it, have all fought each other before. It doesn't determine whether you are friends with somebody or you hate somebody. You're competing against them to see who the best is. But that's his decision, to even think about vacating it because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane. But he's a grown man. That's up to him.
Dana White drops a massive bombshell to Tom Aspinall and his father after he wants to leave UFC. Tom Aspinall's first undisputed heavyweight title defense ended in absolute chaos. But here's the kicker. Instead of supporting his champion, who just suffered a horrific eye injury, Dana White dropped a massive bombshell at the press conference that has the entire MMA world in an uproar.
Ciryl, you were fighting a wonderful first round.
From the brutal double eye poke that ended the fight, to Dana's shocking comments at the press conference, to the MMA community's explosive reaction UFC 321 Abu Dhabi, Tom Aspinall, the newly crowned undisputed heavyweight champion, is making his first title defense against the crafty Frenchman Ciryl Gane. The fight was competitive. Gane was moving well, using his footwork and technical striking. Tom was loading up on power shots, showing new techniques we'd never seen before, including a high kick that surprised everyone. Ciryl Gane's fingers, not his fist, but his extended fingers, meet Tom Aspinall's face. And we're not talking about a little poke here. This was a double eye poke. Both eyes, simultaneously. The replay shows Gane's middle knuckle going under Aspinall's eyelid and along his eyeball. The left eye poke was particularly deep. Tom immediately signals to the referee, clearly in distress.
Ciryl Gane in black. Tom Ciryl Gane. Moving into Aspinall. Oh, nice. Connect. Aspinall goes high. And Ciryl Gane was ranked higher than Tom. Quick jab from Gane. Don't love the spinning. Leaky here early. Is he prepared? The wolf. Look like an eye poke there as Gane.
He's saying, I can't see. I can't see. The fight is waved off. Tom Aspinall cannot continue. The crowd, who paid big money and flew in from around the world, starts booing. They're booing the champion as he's lying on the canvas, unable to see out of either eye. Tom, clearly emotional and confused, grabs the microphone and says, "What are you booing me for? I got double eye poked."
I know you want to go and get medical attention, but talk us through your thought process and what you're feeling right now.
Guys, I just got poked knuckle deep in the eyeball. Why are you booing? What am I supposed to do about it? I didn't do the poke. I can't see.
He's then rushed to the hospital, where he goes in and out for days, with his vision still affected 4 days later, according to reports. Now here's where it gets absolutely wild. While Tom Aspinall is being rushed to the hospital, unable to see, Dana White steps up to the post-fight press conference. And what does he say? Let me read you the exact quote. "I can't make people fight. You can't make someone continue if they feel injured." Gane had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. Only Tom knows what happened. Could he see? Couldn't he see? Only he knows.
And you definitely can't make somebody continue if they feel they've been injured. Only Tom knows what happened. You know, could he see? Couldn't he see? Could he continue? Only he knows that.
Did you catch that? Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. Not Tom suffered an illegal strike. Not Tom was fouled with multiple eye pokes. Just Tom didn't want to continue.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so.
Not Tom was fouled with an illegal strike, multiple illegal strikes.
Dana then went on to praise Ciryl Gane's performance, calling him incredible and dominant. He said the situation was a pain in the ass, but that he would rebook the fight. Ariel Helwani absolutely exploded online, calling Dana's comments irresponsible and embarrassing for the UFC. He pointed out that Dana didn't call out Gane once, even though Gane caused the fight-ending foul. Instead, Dana seemed to protect Gane while throwing his own champion under the bus. Ariel Helwani brought up an important point about intentional versus unintentional fouls. He said, "This notion of intentional versus unintentional is the stupidest thing in sports. A foul is a foul. You don't see NBA referees converging to ask if a player meant to commit a foul. The ball just goes the other way."
This notion of intentional versus unintentional is the stupidest shit in sports. Period. Period. You don't hear it anywhere else. Let me ask you guys a question. Yesterday, I'm watching the New York Knicks against the Miami Heat. Crucial juncture of the game. Knicks are down like 8 or so. They have the ball. Josh Hart gets called for an offensive foul. Illegal screen. Do the referees converge and say, like, did he mean to do that or did he not mean to do that? No, a foul is a foul. Ball goes the other way.
And he's right. Whether Gane meant to poke Tom in the eyes or not, it's still an illegal strike that ended the fight. Michael Bisping, a former UFC champion who famously fought with one eye, defended Tom's decision. He said, "If you can't see, you're allowed to say you can't see. Tom is the champion of the world. He doesn't want to go out there when his vision is impaired and potentially lose a fight that was shaping up to be difficult."
The reality is, if you can't see,
tell the truth.
If you can't see, you're allowed to say you can't see. People
Yeah.
might point to me and say, well, you fought with one eye. Yeah, that was a secret because I shouldn't have been fighting. You know, Tom is the champion of the world. He doesn't want to go out there when his vision is impaired or vision is massively affected and potentially lose a fight that was shaping up to be a difficult fight.
Even the analysts noted that this wasn't a one-sided beatdown. Yes, Tom had a bloody nose. Yes, Gane was fighting well, but Tom was landing nasty shots too. The fight was competitive, and there's no evidence that Tom was looking for a way out, as some suggested. The betting odds tell the story. Tom opened as a 3.5 to 1 favorite. After this incident, odds makers are suggesting the rematch could be close. Gane might even become the favorite. That's not because Tom quit. It's because the narrative around him has been unfairly damaged.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jason Berzon will start this contest at 4 minutes, 35 seconds of the first round. We were at the now. This fight is declared no contest. I'm here with Tom.
First, just weeks before UFC 321, Tom appeared on the CHES Gigs podcast and said something that clearly irritated Dana. Tom's friend and training partner, Ante Delia, had just entered the UFC's heavyweight top 10. Tom said if Delija ever fought his way to a title shot, Tom would vacate the belt rather than fight his friend. Tom explained, if I'd never won a title, I'd be like, we have to fight because that's my dream. But now I've done it. I'd vacate IT, and he can have his time. I wouldn't fight him. No chance. He's one of my genuine friends. There's some stuff to me that's more important than money and titles.
So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight because that's my dream.
Yeah.
But now I've done it, I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
Really? So if it comes to it, you're just not fighting him?
I wouldn't fight him. No chance. No chance.
Damn. Fucking
No.
props.
That's
really?
Yeah. That's, so I've got guys who I train with, of course, and I've trained with them for years and stuff. And I've got other guys who are my genuine friends.
Yeah.
And he's one of my genuine friends. I would never there's some stuff to me that's more important than money and titles. And like I say, I've won the title. I've done that.
Second, Tom's father and head coach, Andy Aspinall, gave an interview during Fight Week where he revealed his desire for Tom to finish his UFC contract and move to boxing, where bigger paydays would be waiting. This isn't new, Andy has said this before, but the timing raised eyebrows. Some speculated the UFC might delay Tom's final fight out of spite, as they've done with other fighters wanting to leave.
He has an average fight time of 2 minutes and 19 seconds. You even said in the documentary recently.
Every fight we say, go out, enjoy it, try and do 3 rounds if you can. Let everybody have a good look at you and show what you can do.
Do you want the world to see what your son can do in the octagon?
I'd like people to see that he's a good martial artist, but he doesn't get to show that very often. And as a consequence of that, they just say everybody's in the heavyweight division, which they're probably not. So I'd like it different this time. Show the world that the heavyweight division is not. There's some good fighters in the heavyweight division who Tom's happened to have hit before they've hit him.
So when the eye poke incident happened, it seems like Dana's frustration with the Aspinall camp finally boiled over. Here's the thing. This isn't the first time Dana White has turned on a fighter who dared to question him or hint at leaving. Tom Aspinall had been the perfect company man. He took a world title fight on 2 weeks' notice. He weighed in as the backup fighter for the Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic fight. He defended his interim title when almost no one else would. He sat out for 15 months waiting for Jon Jones to make a decision, only for Jones to retire. The most heartbreaking moment came from Tom's father, Andy Aspinall. In footage that emerged after the fight, you can hear the genuine fear and concern in Andy's voice. He said, it might be that he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. If it's just your son, and they could lose an eye, and their health, and they've got children to look after, something needs to be done about it.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it.
Tom Aspinall just dropped a bombshell message to Ciryl Gane ahead of their UFC 321 title clash, claiming he holds one major advantage that could change everything. Alexander Volkov, who's fought both men, just gave his prediction. All right, let's start with the champion himself, Tom Aspinall. The British heavyweight is set to defend his title for the first time as the undisputed champion at UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi on October 25th, and he just revealed what he believes is his biggest advantage over not just Ciryl Gane, but the entire heavyweight division.
I think if I hit anybody, I can knock anybody out. And I think that Ciryl is no exception, but obviously there are some weaknesses in his ground game that we've seen, but I'm sure he's improved. Do you know what I mean? This is an MMA fight. It can go anywhere, so I'm sure we'll both be ready for anything.
Aspinall claims that because his fights end so quickly, we're talking an average fight time of just over 2 minutes. His opponents have barely any footage to study. Think about that. This is his 10th UFC fight, but he says people have only seen 10 to 20% of what he can actually do. In his own words, if I can go through my career and nobody is seeing me do anything, that's ideal for me because each long fight, the opponent gets to see more and more. Right now, I've got a lot of UFC fights, but people have only seen 10 to 20% of what I can actually do. And that is just a massive advantage.
Ciryl tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for, and he'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Ciryl?
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight, especially with me throwing him.
Let's put this in perspective. Aspinall needed just 60 seconds to destroy Curtis Blades in their rematch last summer. 60 seconds. That's not even enough time to grab a beer from the fridge. So while guys like Ciryl Gane have hours of footage showing their techniques, patterns, and habits, Aspinall is basically a mystery wrapped in an enigma. That's terrifying for any opponent. But wait, it gets better, because Aspinall isn't just talking strategy, he's playing mind games with Gane. And honestly, it's pretty savage. Ciryl Gane recently appeared in 2 movies, KO, which came out this summer, and Den of Thieves 2 with Gerard Butler at the beginning of the year. Now, there's nothing wrong with fighters expanding their brand, right? Well, Aspinall thinks otherwise. The British champion took a shot at Gane's commitment, saying, and I quote, "I wouldn't do a Netflix documentary for $50 million while I'm still actively fighting. No chance, you couldn't pay me enough money to do it. I'm 100% committed to my craft. 100%, $50 million, and he'd turn it down. That's the level of dedication we're talking about here." Aspinall is basically saying, while you were on movie sets, I was in the gym preparing to destroy you. That's the championship mentality right there, folks. But is it just talk? Or does Gane have something to prove? We'll find out in less than 2 weeks. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Alexander Volkov, the number 2 ranked heavyweight contender, has fought both Aspinall and Gane, so he's got the inside scoop, the first-hand experience, the knowledge that nobody else has. And his prediction? It's complicated. Volkov calls it a straight-up 50-50 fight. He acknowledges that Gane has incredible movement, great leg work, and has dramatically improved his grappling game. But, and this is the key, when asked who looks better, Volkov said, and I quote, "On paper, when I fought both of them, Tom Aspinall looks better."
50-50, I think. 50-50.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Both of them are good, and Ciryl Gane he's really good on his movement, on his legs and everything, and he's not so bad grappling now. He starts working a lot on his grappling and his ground skills. So I think it's 50-50. It depends how fight starts, how both of them will be prepared to the fight for each other, and I saw that Gane will be motivated a lot to the fight to get the belt. It's 50-50, but on the paper, when I fought with both of them, Tom Aspinall looks better.
But then he added, in the fight, it could go either way.
But in the fight, it could be like in any ways.
Let's break down Volkov's experience with these guys. He fought Gane twice. June 2021 and UFC 310, losing both times by decision, with the second being a razor-thin split decision. He fought Aspinall at UFC London in March 2022 and got submitted in the first round.
Put you right back on your feet, just so you can take advantage of me. Tell me how's it feel, sitting up there, feeling so high, but too far away to hold me. You know I'm
So even though Volkov had more competitive fights with Gane, he's still giving Aspinall the edge on paper. That tells you everything you need to know about how dangerous the British champion really is. Aspinall recently made a bold statement about his training partner and genuine friend, Ante Delia, who just made his UFC debut and beat a top 10 opponent at UFC Paris last month with a brutal stoppage. Aspinall said that if Delijah works his way up to a title shot, which could be just 2 to 3 wins away, he would vacate the belt rather than fight his friend. Let me repeat that. The heavyweight champion of the world would give up his title rather than fight his training partner. In his words, if I never won a title, I never touched gold before, we'd have to fight. Because that was my dream. But now that I've done it, I'd vacate and he could have his time. I wouldn't fight him. No chance. He's one of my genuine friends, and there's some stuff to me that's more important than money and titles.
So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight, because that's my dream.
Yeah.
But now I've done it, I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
Fair. Really? So if it comes to it, you're just not fighting him?
I wouldn't fight him. No chance.
Fair.
No chance.
Damn. Fucking
no.
Props.
That's
really?
Yeah. That's, so I've got guys who I train with, of course, and I've trained with them for years and stuff. And I've got other guys who are my genuine friends.
Yeah.
And he's one of my genuine friends. I would never there's some stuff to me that's more important than
And speaking of training partners, Aspinall also trains with Phil DeFries, who was cut from the UFC over a decade ago, but has gone on to record 12 consecutive heavyweight title defenses in KSW. That's the level of talent Aspinall surrounds himself with daily. Now, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the GOAT in the Twitter feed. So let's break this down. What do we actually have here? Aspinall's advantages. Lightning-fast finisher with minimal tape to study 100% focused on fighting, no distractions. Home advantage with the British fan base. Currently ranked number 8 pound-for-pound momentum as the newly crowned undisputed champion. Gains advantages. Former interim champion with title fight experience. Vastly improved grappling game. Exceptional striking and movement. Highly motivated to reclaim championship status. Experience against top-level competition. What do you think? Is Aspinall's secret weapon enough to defend his title? Or will Gane's improved ground game and motivation shock the world? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our fight coverage.
So surgery is everywhere, every time around us. So no worries, Tom Aspinall. You're gonna come in back stronger, really, my man.